you better tell your whore, talking about Danielle, his granddaughter, that's a different case. I'll tell you about that. Her whore, which is me, they beat on the door again, as in knocking on our door, or anything, or running their mouth. Do you want me to read it as?
Yes,
as
it's written.
Fuck them up. Fuck them both up bad, and her mom and grandmother. He has a gun safe with like fully automatics, semi-automatics, whatever it is. And basically he's mad because I put his grandson in jail, and he's done with me. He's done with basically, he didn't want his grandson to go to jail. So what he did is, I actually have the videos, like I showed the other court. Oh, sorry. But I showed the officer the videos and everything, and they took that into that court. So that's in Franklin Municipal Court, where I got pounded over. So anyways, the grandpa basically is in the enabler who takes them to get drugs, who hides it out, who hides the gun. So anyways, the automatic that CJ was shooting that day at me and my family, besides the text message that he sent on this same day, this is the day he had court. So I would say, actually it was before this, because I showed up to court. When I showed up to court for my subpoena is when he tried to file an eviction against me and my family because I showed up to court on CJ. Of course I'm going to show up to court.
So something happened between yourself and CJ on July 2nd?
The day he got arrested. I mean, you guys, I don't know.
I don't have access to that information.
Okay,
this is a civil case.
I'll tell you what day he got arrested. It was, like, he's in jail right now. Yeah, this is the day it actually happened. Actually, I can probably also look it on my photos and see it timestamps it on my phone, you know how it is. But I'll do it this way through the jail website. And I'm sorry, I don't really have full bars in here. It's not really
okay, so is it approximately July 2nd? Or are we talking about June?
This is when yes. Well, this is when it was filed. So this is when his court date was. So he was arrested prior to that, obviously. So it was either a week or two before. I just want to give you it was in June he got arrested, but his court date was in July, his first court date.
Okay, so sometime in June, CJ sent you a text message.
CJ sent the grandpa a text message for us.
Okay,
saying,
and what did that text message say?
So what I did is I asked Roger for his phone, and he gave me everything that was on his phone. Said, you better tell your whore, talking about Danielle, his granddaughter, that's a different case. I'll tell you about that. Her whore, which is me, they beat on the door again, as in knocking on our door, or anything, or running their mouth. Do you want me to read it as?
Yes,
as
it's written.
Fuck them up. Fuck them both up bad, and her mom and grandmother. I'm dead ass too, and they're lucky. The N-word was just here with the heat, talking about the gun. Well, this guy happened to be here when he got arrested too.
Okay, so that text message is sent to Grandpa. He shows it to you.
Yes.
Then what happens between you and CJ? Does he pull a gun on you?
I call the cops.
Okay, based on the text message?
Yes.
Okay. When was there any other altercation between you and CJ?
Yes, it's been going on for a while. It's because I work 2 jobs and go to school also. So, and it's affecting I work. I've been wrote up. Haven't had to miss work because of it. But yes, he's threatened me because Amelia basically is telling him basically not to talk to me or associate with me because I've known him basically before. She's 40 something years old and has 5 kids, and she decides to stay at this place to get high and sell drugs from and trap out of, instead of being home with her children, who she should, and her daughter.
Well,
just came to the
let's
house.
stay on track with CJ first.
Okay.
And talk about that. So that happened sometime in June.
Yes.
That he sent that text message.
Yes. And
Are
he
there
also-
any other altercations that you want to tell me about between you and CJ?
Yes. There's multiple, but I'll just say, for instance, the gun he had. I mean, I have the video if you want to see that.
So let's first start with, what day are we talking about?
Same day. Let's see, the day prior to this text message, I'd say.
Okay, so the day
after.
before he texted Grandpa.
Okay, he sent this text message. The cops were called. I didn't tell him I was calling the cops, right? He was out there shooting Grandpa's automatic gun, right? So no, I didn't tell nobody I was calling the cops. I told my mom and Grandma, because my mom and Grandma were shaking. They didn't know. So I was like, Mom, calling them. I'm calling them, telling them. But we're in the township. We're at Bertha Drive, so it's different there. They said the township rules are different. And it's crazy because I know Warren County's on their stuff, and I know this from personal experience. I just don't they get away with doing drugs and selling drugs, and their grandpa doing this. But anyways, yeah, so prior to, so this text was sent, and then after that, well, he's always been shooting the guns. I've asked him multiple times to stop shooting the guns, and then one thing he said to me, I said, please don't shoot those guns tonight late. And he said, I'm only going to shoot some dogs, talking about my dogs. He said, I mean raccoons. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's a different instance. That's one thing. But then, in the video, he threatened my family, he threatened me in the video. He even said, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so in what day is the video on the same day the text message was sent?
It might be the day before.
Okay, and in the video, what happens?
He tries to hide the gun. You want me to show you?
Well, is he threatening you? Is he pointing it at you? Is he shooting at you? Just tell me what happened.
Yes, he was, and then he's trying to hide it because he's like, it's a BB gun, but no, it was semi-automatic that it was registered to his grandfather, who 10 minutes after he got arrested, his grandfather pulled up, and Amelia, the girlfriend, walked out, wiped the gun off. I watched it, walked out, and gave it to the grandpa, and the grandpa drove off with it.
Okay,
his gun.
But tell me about CJ pointing the gun at you.
Yes, he pointed it at me, shot it in the field, bam, 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 bam. I said, hey, shoot the gun again. I dare you. He turned around with him and the N-word, the guy he was with, talking about the heat from the day before when he left.
Okay.
Right? And then bam, 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 but he missed. He didn't shoot. I guess I don't know. But
this is the day before he said, sent the text message.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But yes.
And were cops called that day?
Yes. They've been called every day.
And he was not arrested at that point?
No. Most of the.
Okay.
No one's been
So then the
arrested
next day he sent a text message to Grandpa threatening you, and you called the cops again?
Yes.
And was he arrested that day?
Yes, because, so they had multiple guns. So anyways, the black guy was there, right? Again, as he said, my dude just left at the heat. I'm not going to say that word. I don't like that word. I'm sorry. But the guy left because his baby mom has a gun registered to her, but that's just like a handgun. Well, still, CJ's still a felon. And they told me that as long as you don't have a violent crime. I didn't think that was true. I didn't know that was true, but that's what the prosecutor told me in Franklin. He said that's why I didn't get bound over to here, because he got charged with weapons and a disability and menacing. That's what he has court today for. That's why Franklin Municipal, the victims advocate, told me to come here right away and take care of this for both of them, because in case he were to get out today, the same thing is going to happen. And that's why, basically. So
this happened sometime in June. He's arrested for some gun-related charges, and he's been in jail since that time.
Yes. And since then, his girlfriend has still been doing the same stuff.
Okay. So is this all of your testimony as to CJ?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So As to CJ's case, it seems like there were two instances, one where he shot at you and one where he made threats to harm you.
Absolutely.
Based upon those two instances, I'm going to grant the temporary emergency protection order today. That means that he is going to get an order that he has to stay 500 feet away from you. He's not allowed to have any contact with you.
Can it be any more than 500 feet? Because the house, we have a laundry room. Like, I don't want him coming to the house and thinking we share a laundry, like it's 500 feet. We have a
500 feet is typically larger than the size of a house.
Okay, but we live on land. That's the thing of the township. That's why everybody's shooting their guns in their private property and everything. We can't make it any more than 500 feet.
I'm not going to make it more than 500 feet. That's the standard for these orders.
That's fine.
Who owns the property that you all are staying at?
Roger King.
Does CJ pay rent there? Do you pay rent there?
No.
Okay.
The reason that he's there is because he stole his mom's gun, who works at the prison, and he can't stay at his mom's house because his mom will lose his job because he stole his mom's gun.
I'm going to order that he is not allowed at your residence. So that will include the house that you are currently staying at.
Okay.
So he's not allowed to be there. He's not allowed to have contact with you. And then he's also not allowed to be within 500 feet from you. Okay? So that's going to be the first order. Now let's talk about Amelia's case.
Okay.
So you know her through the same way. She's dating Mr. Osner, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what has she done that has been a pattern of conduct to cause you to suffer physical harm or mental distress?
Well, she's still using the guns. She's still basically she thinks the whole thing was they were trying to evict me basically because me and my family, because CJ can't come to that residence and he can't go to his mom's house because of that gun thing. So basically she's there because she just got here out of the money program, and since she's been there, she is so basically, okay, for an instance, like she got in my face, was threatening me, calling me names, arguing over CJ, calling me names because I'm gay actually, and I was there, like I said, for the granddaughter, and she started calling me names like a slut and a tramp and stuff like that. I never could call those names in my life actually, and she was mad because her boyfriend got arrested, and then after that I'll be looking out the window and she has drug deals all the time, pulling up to pick her up to go take her back and forth, and then they go as far as smoking this pipe thing. It's like, it's white, it's clear. I don't know exactly because I've never messed with that neck of the woods, but it's methamphetamine. That's all I can basically tell you. And it's they smoke it, and the officer told me that they were allowed to smoke it on their property. I'm like, that's just crazy to me, but okay. But
well, the whether there's illicit drug use or not, the issue here is whether she has engaged in a pattern of conduct to cause you to suffer physical harm or mental distress.
So
tell me about the things that she said, when those things occurred, etc.
That, and then anytime I leave the house, she comes over, she goes in, she tries to take anything off out of our rooms or our kitchen or anything so she can have basically, because she basically is trying to use CJ's grandpa basically as like her I don't know, as a place to stay and do what she wants, her own apartment, her own free room thing, instead of being at home with her kids who don't like CJ or the drugs, so that's why, so she chose to be here. But anyways, so during all this, the reason why I want this against her too is because the same stuff's going on. We're still going at it. She's still in the house, still doing the same stuff, still saying threats, doing the same threats, doing the same drug stuff.
So what are the threats?
Okay, basically that under her breath, CJ, don't get out, blah, blah, blah. Like,
What is blah, 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 blah?
she says it under her breath. That's
So
what
you don't know what she's threatening.
basically, she's trying to like blackmail me, basically. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Well, based upon your testimony, I don't think there are sufficient grounds to grant the protection order as to Amelia. It doesn't sound like she's made any explicit threats of harm to you to warrant a temporary emergency protection order.